the emergence of life on Earth. Approximately 3.5 billion years ago, the primitive oceans began to host the first forms of life, microorganisms. These tiny unicellular entities, such as bacteria, were extremely resilient and adapted to an environment that had been hostile for millennia. As these microorganisms thrived, they established the foundations of the food chain and began releasing oxygen through the process of photosynthesis, an act that would transform Earth's atmosphere. Between 2.4 and 2.1 billion years ago, a monumental event known as the Great Oxidation occurred. Thanks to the activity of photosynthetic microorganisms, the amount of oxygen in the atmosphere began to rise dramatically. This change not only allowed for the development of new forms of life, but also created a more favorable environment for the evolution of multicellular organisms. However, this increase in oxygen also triggered mass extinctions of anaerobic species that could not survive in an oxygen-rich environment. As oxygen accumulated, Earth witnessed the emergence of more complex organisms, eukaryotes. These organisms, which possess well-defined nuclei, represented a significant evolutionary advance. About 1.5 billion years ago, eukaryotes began to diversify, giving rise to multicellular life forms. Algae and the first marine animals started to appear, marking the beginning of a new era in the history of life. Approximately 541 million years ago, Earth experienced an extraordinary event known as the Cambrian Explosion. During a brief geological period, the diversity of life expanded explosively, with the appearance of nearly all major groups of animals. This phenomenon allowed the evolution of organisms with complex characteristics, including exoskeletons and specialized body structures, which would dominate the oceans for millions of years. Over time, some organisms began to colonize land. About 470 million years ago, the first land plants, such as mosses and liverworts, emerged from the oceans, marking a new chapter in Earth's history. As plants flourished, they created habitats that permitted the evolution of the first land animals, such as arthropods and eventually vertebrates. The story of Earth is a saga of continuous transformation, from microorganisms in the oceans to the colonization of land by plants and animals. In our next episode, we will explore how these organisms survived and adapted to climatic and geological changes throughout the eras. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the evolution of Earth. Don't forget to subscribe and activate the notification bell so you won't miss our upcoming videos. Leave us your comments on what you would like to explore next.